And there we have it. The inevitable has happened. France against Morocco in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Both teams were favorites for the match, and both teams have won their games. We're going to start off by, reviewing both of the games and, talk about the referee of one particular game. And let's talk about performances in each half for both games that were on display today. So, the first game that happened today was Paraguay against, what am I saying? Was Canada against Morocco. This game was a strange game because Morocco in the first half, they were shocking. They were bad. That was the worst Morocco performance in a half I've ever seen from them. Usually they are the stronger team. Well, they usually perform well in the first half. Like what I saw in the first half today was nothing like them. Canada were pressing well. Canada were more looking at the team that wanted to win. Like everything Canada was doing in the first half was going to plan from Jesse Marsch. And but the only problem Canada had is that they didn't take any of their chances. And I've noticed this been a very common theme for Canada in the World Cup is that the performances could be well, but they really struggle with taking their chances, being clinical. Like the Switzerland game is a good example. When they have chances, they haven't took it. And when they don't take chances, they get punished very easily, eventually. And today's game is Morocco, and the Switzerland game was a good example of that. The first half, they were cooking, they were doing well. We were thinking, oh, maybe Morocco might be shocked today. Maybe Morocco underestimated Canada. And it looked like they did in the first half, to the point that they underperformed massively. And that's how the first half went. The second half was a complete difference, complete change. Hakimi was attacking more in the right wing, he was going more forward in the right wing spots, creating more chances. And also, Morocco were more attacking, and also Canada were also more open in the second half because they were chasing the goal. They have the way they play football is very beneficial and also very risky because they like to press hard. They like to press as a team, press high. But the problem is, it's easy for teams to run in behind and score chances, which is what basically all the Morocco goals were like similar. Running behind or very quick counterattack, very quick transition, and clinical. And that's what was all the goals for Morocco in the second half, basically. There was a guy that scored 2 goals. I think it was Unahi, scored 2 goals for Morocco. A good assist from Brahim. I think Brahim got 2 assists actually today. Technically, he got 2 assists today, if I'm not wrong. But Brahim Diaz, our player from Madrid. What a player. What a performance from him. Madrid fans, including me, are thinking, why are we not seeing this from Madrid? Why are we not seeing this from Madrid? Because for Morocco, he looks a whole different man. He looks like he's performing differently. It's like, I'm thinking, okay, what in Madrid are we not doing to get the best out of him? And to be honest, this is a common theme for a lot of Madrid players. For Mbappe, for Vini recently, Jude recently, now Brahim as well. So that attack, we need to find a way to unlock all of them. But it looks like none of them are finished. None of them are bad players. None of them are finished, done. They all still are ballers, and they clearly are showing it in the World Cup. But yeah, Canada didn't take their chance. Morocco, they punished them 3 times, 3 goals, and some good finishes for Morocco as well. So, in the end, it's kind of a bit of, you should have took a chance, but you didn't, and you got punished. That's how I describe the Canada performance from them. But yeah, we clearly saw, why Morocco are always going these long runs in big tournaments like the World Cup 2022. We saw why they did that, because the performance like today in the second half was why I did that. And to be honest, that performance from Morocco is actually very similar to the France for Senegal game. First half, Senegal looked like they weren't, or first half, France looked like they weren't doing anything. Senegal was a better team. But second half came by, and eventually France showed their quality. And yeah, that's basically how I would sum up the Morocco game against Canada. Now the next game was Paraguay against France. Paraguay against France. Oh, where do we get started? Where do we start with this game? Where do we start with this game? Because the amount of fouls, the amount of refereeing poor decisions I saw in that game was disgusting. This was a disgusting game because Paraguay, you already know we're going to play this nasty football, dirty, fouling, trying to get in everyone's heads. But people can say, that's basically an average South American country playing in the World Cup. Playing the most dirty, trying to be the most disliked players in the world, bro. Because what we were seeing Paraguay doing was disgusting. Was absolutely disgusting. And Thierry Henry said, football won today. And I don't disagree. No one wants to see a team doing that at the World Cup go through. And France, they stayed calm. Despite everything Paraguay tried to do to them, they managed to not get sent off. They managed to not completely lose their heads. And most of the time, they all just smiled when they saw things like this happening to them. Mbappe, Elise, they just smiled and moved on and played the game. Of course, this wasn't the most entertaining game ever. And I wouldn't even say that was the most convincing France performance ever, but I could say this is due to Paraguay's, making it a dirty game, making it an ugly game, and all that. And yeah, Mbappe got Doué won the penalty, and Mbappe scored the penalty. And yeah, I don't know how Paraguay did all those fouls, and there was 0 cards, I think, for Paraguay. 0 yellow cards, 0 red cards, I've heard, if I'm not wrong. And France has like 3, 4 yellow cards. It's crazy. The goalkeeper, even though he didn't save the penalty, I said in my last video from the Paraguay-Germany game that this goalkeeper needs to be getting called for the top 5 leagues. He needs to get that call, bro. Because this goalkeeper, he's a good goalkeeper. I can't lie. But yeah, what Paraguay did today was very similar to what they did against Germany, where it's like basically trying to rile the players. I remember the players for Paraguay trying to rile Musiala, trying to get this man sent off. Yeah, these lot they want to be D-heads, to say that at the very least. But yeah, both teams, France and Morocco, won their games, and this will be the quarterfinals. And I can't wait to watch that game, because this is a good chance for Morocco to get revenge from the 2022 World Cup. semifinals where France won that game 2-0. So this is a good chance for them to get revenge. This can be another chance for France to move on, go forward, and go to the semifinals of the World Cup. And the matchups this game, very exciting, very exciting. Brahim Diaz, Mbappe, Hakimi, Olise, Doué, Barcola, I was going to say Sanabria, but he got injured, so he's going to be out. That young kid, that young 18-year-old Moroccan midfielder, him as well. Bono, like, this will be a fun game. I can't wait to watch it. Football is ready to watch this game. We cannot wait to watch this game. And yeah, another game, another day where we saw more World Cup games and more drama, more crazy stuff going on. And yeah, that's my thoughts about the two matches.